500 subs, you bloody legends. I'm just very happy. We reached 500 subs. And then I woke up this morning, I was like, found out that I was on 500 subs, and I was like, yes. And then I went on YouTube and found out that also I'd been bloody plagiarized by Rafix Gaming. I was like, gee, that looks a bit familiar. Anyway, so this week I was thinking of having a dueling competition as well, so I'll cover that a bit more later. But in this video, I want to cover this week's duels. I found out something really critical to what I was doing wrong, and it really improved my gameplay afterwards, so I want to cover that. I did some video analysis and found out some interesting things that I was doing wrong. And then once I've done that, I want to go over my OPR stats and whether they've been improving as my dueling has been getting better. So that's kind of like what we're going to be doing. So this week started off quite rough. I just kept fighting people and kept losing, and I just felt like, it was so demoralizing. I felt, if anything, I was actually going backwards and not getting better. I was starting to question my ability to actually, like, react to things. Like, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm just, like, terrible. I just kept losing. You can see from the last fight I was fighting Dark Monster, he beat me multiple times. I don't think I beat him, or if I did, it was just a couple. And then Big X Swing is the same thing. We had a bit of a dueling session, and I think I might have won once, and then he won every other fight we had. So it was just getting really, really demoralizing. I just couldn't understand. Yeah, it was just really bad. So this sort of went on for the first 3 days. And I was just dueling heaps back to back, and I'd get into these long dueling sessions. These are like with really good players, mind you, but yeah, I would really win. One of the themes though is I noticed that I just kept getting stunned. And this is just kind of bread and butter stuff. Like, you can't do anything else if you're gonna be constantly getting stunned. So I knew something was up, and I was pretty sure that it was because I kept getting hit on my second light attack. So generally, like, the way you move was you'll do a light attack, another light attack, and then you'll dodge. And my feeling was I just kept getting stunned on my second light attack. But what I did was I went through hours of my duels that I'd done, and every time I got stunned in one of those duels, I put it down in the Excel spreadsheet as to, like, what was the stun and how I got caught out. Okay, so after analyzing hundreds of these duels, I basically found that there was 4 types of ways that I was getting stunned. And in these videos that you're looking at here, it's either during the dodge or in my first light attack. And what I found that this occurred 20% of the time that I got stunned, it was during this phase. This is a pretty safe phase. You're generally not going to get stunned during a light attack or during a dodge. So this was generally a pretty rare occurrence. And if not that, it was just, this was usually the one that was due to bad luck. Also, generally, it's good players that will get you in these because they'll see that you've got like a pattern in the way you fight, and they'll start timing the stuns to catch you in that pattern. The next one is the one that I thought would be the most common. This is the one that before I did this analysis on all the duels, this is the one I thought I was getting stunned the most. And it was definitely one of the highest. I got caught by this one 31% of the time I got stunned. It was during the second light attack. And it's basically just because usually you're not necessarily watching when you're going for a second light attack what the opponent's doing. So you'll often get caught out because you'll do your first light attack. You're generally safe during that. And then when you go to swing your second light attack, they'll start to do their CC. And if you're not paying attention, they'll just be, you won't be able to stop your swing, and then they'll be able to land their CC halfway through your second light attack. I mean, ideally you want to watch before you go for your second light attack to make sure they're not trying to pop off a CC. But yeah, this was like the second highest one. Now, much to my surprise, the one that actually I was getting stunned the most with was when I was trying to get off my main skills. So this happened 43% of the time, and yeah, like, this really, really surprised me. I honestly felt like I was getting stunned during my second light attack phase, but by far I was getting stunned a lot more when I was trying to get my main skills off. And it didn't really matter what the skill was, whether it was a Maelstrom, Shockwave, it just really opened me up to getting stunned. And so, yeah, that was the biggest problem, 43% of the time. Okay, and the final phase, which I haven't got any videos of, was when I ran out of stamina. If that really ever happened, it was only 6%, so I just won't get into it anymore. So on the last day, I made 2 adjustments. I basically stopped trying to cast my main skills, very often, and I would only use them really safely when I really felt like I could get them off without getting stunned myself. And the second thing I did was every time I'd go for my second light attack, I would pause a little bit to make sure that they're not going for a stun, to make sure I'm not going to get caught out. Because your two vulnerable moments are when you're trying to go for a main skill and or you're trying to do your second light attack. That's going to make up 70% of all the times you get stunned. And I definitely noticed the difference. I was getting stunned a lot less, and people that I was fighting and losing to just non-stop, all of a sudden I was giving them a good fight. So one of them would be Big X swinging. So in the earlier days on this video that I showed you, when I fought Big X swinging, he was just winning nearly every fight. And now all of a sudden I was actually able to give him a bit of a run for his money. Now that's not to say that I was winning every fight, so even though I'm showing you a fight here that I'm winning, you know, that wasn't always the case. But what I'm trying to get across here is all of a sudden I was a bit more competitive. I was able to win fights against him, which I couldn't before, so that was kind of cool. Even though I did just get caught by a stun there. But yeah, the stun's been less. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wasn't an easy win. So that, well, I just felt the progression. Like here I'm fighting against Dark Monster. He still beat me plenty of times, more than I beat him. But I was actually at least able to kill him way more than I was previously. So you can just sort of see that I'm not really going... I went for my main attack after he did his. There I get got out in the stun again. It's terrible examples. But I'm just light attacking way more, and it makes such a big difference. Yep, so my advice would be... don't really do your main skills very often, and if you do, be really, really careful about using them. And also just be really careful during your second light attack phase. But yeah, just rely a little bit more on your light attacks. That's what I'm doing. I find that when I've done that, I'm actually able to avoid stuns a lot more. So it's been quite game-changing for me, so it's been good. Okay, so in terms of my OPR success, there's definitely been an increase. Now, some of the numbers are quite low this week, but it's just because I've had quite a few games where we've won really quickly, so I do feel like my score position is the more telling number. So in the pre-duel week, my average position was 13th, and then in the first week of dueling, my average position was 8th, and then in this week, it's 6th, so there's definitely been an increase. The damage is lower and the kills are lower, yeah, like I said, simply because in some of these OPRs, we won so easily that, yeah, it just didn't last long enough in order to get that many kills, which you can also see reflected in the fact that I'm dying less. But yeah, so OPRs are going really well. Yeah, thanks for everyone who subscribed. Oh yeah, I might as well talk about it now. So I'm thinking now that I've hit 500 subs, I thought I'd celebrate with a dueling competition, and then I can put that dueling competition online for everyone to see. So at the moment, I'm just kind of gauging who's interested, but now that I've hit 500 subs, I'm going to be more proactive in getting that sorted out. Okay, thanks everyone, and I will see you later.